Hello guys, and today we have here another very awesome deck profile. We have here a Ritual Beast or Spiritual Beast deck. These decks did very well at Nationals, and on the topic of Nationals, very interesting to see Ritual Beast. I actually didn't think they'd be too good because I thought Shaddoll was going to be probably one of the bigger decks because the Wind Shaddoll on a Tunnelist just poops on this card. So I was really surprised when I saw how well Ritual Beasts were doing, and so because of that we got here a deck profile. The deck did really well. I'm just trying to improve on it mainly, and I feel this deck is going to be very budget friendly. I don't think there's going to be any really expensive deck. I don't think even Necros are going to be too expensive. Even in this period where we're waiting for the ban list that might not come out until 21/15. But for the main part, we are just budget friendly. Like, I noticed Burning Abyss is going up in prices, but like Burning Abyss is just so weird. Like them winning Nationals again, it's just like Prague all over again, pretty much. And so kind of strange, but anyways, this is a deck profile. Main point is we're just trying to improve upon the deck, and there was a lot of things that I saw. I can't remember which player I saw the deck profile of, but I think he was the featured match where he was facing Necros. So I saw his deck and I improved upon it. I did some things that I liked, and it's kind of, Ritual Beasts are really interesting because like once you get off your first contact fusion, like you're golden. But until then, like, it can just be, it's really weird, the deck, how the deck works. It's like, if you don't have your Spiritual Beasts and you don't draw your Tamers, it's bad. So you don't want to have too many Tamers, but you also want to get to these guys, but you also want to get to your Tamers. So it's kind of crazy, but let's just go right in. We have 3 Apelio. He can banish 1 Ritual Beast monster, and all of your Ritual Beast monsters will gain 500 attack, so that is awesome. I believe you can use his effect up to twice per turn. Not that that's like a limitation. You can use it as many times as you can as long as you get him out on the field. But you can only special summon him once per turn, so you'd have to do some shenanigans to get him to activate 3 times. You can normal summon him, contact, decontact, and then use his effect again. So that would be get twice. And then Rampengu. Rampengu's kind of good because A, he does deck thinning. Banish 1 Ritual Beast monster from your extra deck, then send 1 Ritual Beast monster with the same type as that monster from your deck to the graveyard. And again, you can only special summon. You can only special summon each of these guys once per turn. So he's just great for doing deck thinning, setting up for an Apelio, and getting what you need. Conahawk's probably the best one in the deck. You can banish 1 Ritual Beast card, not just a monster, but a card from your deck, and add it to your hand during your second standby phase, so it's a gold Sark, if it has to be. But you can also just set up for doing loops with the Ulti Conahawk. You can get 1 in the grave and then be able to special summon out with the Ulti Conahawk's effect and decontact. Petalfin. Honestly, I like Petalfin, but getting cards in your hand in this deck can be kind of difficult unless you're doing the loop, which I mean you're gonna do, but like, your only reason you're going to have cards in your hand is if you're making this guy. Otherwise, you're just going to search out your steeds and your Ritual Beast ambush and then just set everything. So, he can be a little bit hard, but he's still really good. You can banish a Ritual Beast card from your hand and then target a card your opponent controls and return it to the hand. So he's going to be back row removal, monster removal. Really good. Fire and Ice Hand's becoming popular, especially because Fire and Ice Hand poops on steeds. So, yeah. When will target a Ritual Beast monster in your graveyard? No, not in your graveyard, in your banish pile and special summon it. Zephyr will target 1 in your graveyard and special summon it, same as Laura will, but she's a pendulum monster. And then Elder does not special summon any, he just gets you an extra normal summon for any Ritual Beast monster, including your Tamers. So he's really good, he's probably one of the best ones, that's why we're running him at 3. Because if you can open up with him and Conahawk, that's just beautiful. Because you can then summon him, banish a card with Conahawk, and then contact into Ulti Conahawk. You turn 1 and then special summon these guys again, and then banish 1, and you're pretty much good. And so Elder is one of the best ones. But once you get to do your contacts, you don't want to go into him because again, you probably won't have cards in your hand. You probably won't have a Ritual Beast in your hand by that point, so he's really good just to get rid of with Conahawk. That's the only monster you can't send him to grave with Rampengu, unless they come out with a Psychic type. This guy is Psychic. Oh, you can. So yeah, you could send him to the graveyard with Rampengu, but you'd have to banish Ulti Diapoleo, or you can just banish him with Conahawk. And so then for spells, we run Reject Key, Dark Hole, 3 Upstarts, 1 Gold Sark, 1 Foolish. These cards, they just help out with the Tamers, just opening up with them can be really nice. I mean, worst case scenario, Goldsock will just add you the card in 2 turns, just like a Conahawk will. So it just helps with deck thinning and setting up plays. It makes it be like another monster, so if you do open up with a Lara or a Win, it's just like, yeah, I can get stuff off, I can get searching and doing the stuff. 2 MSTs. Running MST instead of Galaxy Cyclone because of, well, anti-spell fragrance. So, yeah, it's a quick play, so you're going to be setting it anyways, pretty much. 1 D-Fissure, because this just annoys a whole bunch of different decks. 3 Steeds, 3 Ambush. Ambush should be the first one you search out because it will let you go on your plays. Because once you get Ambush, like everything's so much better because it like doesn't matter about, oh, I need to get one in the grave for lore, or I need to get one in hand so I can use Elder. This is like, okay, Ambush, Summon. Doesn't matter if they're both in grave or both in banished. It's just really, really good. So search out Ambush because it'll just give you another play. Don't be like, oh, I should search out Steed so that way I can disrupt my opponent's play. No, just search out Ambush. 2 Trap Suns, just because at first I didn't think traps would hurt this deck, but actually they can be very devastating, especially before you contact. Like if you contact, then traps won't do anything. You just be like, okay, decontact. But if you are like using Lara and they chain for you and just chain, then yeah, that can be bad. Or Warning, which you can't chain traps onto Warning, but you can use traps to stop Warning by activating it beforehand. 1 macro, and then Anti-Spell Fragrance. I think this card is going to be really strong this format. Anti-Spell Fragrance is really, really good. It just proves on so many decks. Necros, Shaddolls, Cleaforts. Can kind of poop on Statellars, but I'd probably side it out against Statellars. And so yeah, this card just is really, really good against so many different decks. And so it just slows games down because it'll be like, okay, the Necros player can't just go search, summon, search, and then do a whole bunch of that. They have to go summon, search, set, wait a turn. And now they can't go off and do the ridiculous play, so they might not be able to summon Trishul right away. So it gives you extra turn, it slows down the game. It's not the best thing in the world as far as stopping spells. Like spell cards are really, just like looking at the cards you can use to stop spell cards, they're on a lot of stuff. And this is probably one of the best ones, but it's like spell cards are really broken in the game because there's nothing good to stop them. Not asking for an Imperial Order, don't get me wrong, I don't want that card to be legal. And then 2 mistakes. Do note the Trap Stun will negate the mistake if you have to do that, so that way you can do research. I did that in 1 game, but then again my opponent also had like 3 back rows, so it's like, you know what, I'm just getting a Trap Stun. So that way I can do my loop and I have a whole bunch of cards in my hand. So Trap Stunning your own mistake, not bad, because now your opponent can't play, but you can. And that is it for the main deck. So pretty much as far as the playing goes, you're just trying to make Conahawk, searching out, and then if you can get to that point, you can get such a good amount of cards, you don't want to make Gaia Player, because let's go over Gaia Player's effect. Now do note I'm not running Bonds, because I don't like Bonds. You make this guy, but he doesn't get his effect if you use Bonds, because it says, if summoned this way, this card gains this effect. If you use Bonds, he wasn't summoned through this. He was summoned through Bonds. So he doesn't get this effect if you summon him through Bonds. So I don't like running it, and again, Anti-Spell Fragrance is a thing. So, during either player's turn when the spell, trap, card, or monster effect is activated, banish 1 Ritual Beast monster from hand, negate the activation if you do destroy it. So this is pretty much what you want to make late game. If you're doing well, if you have one requires a ulti monster, a Ritual Tamer, and a Spiritual Beast monster. So if you get to late game, this is pretty much what you should be making. You can make him easily just with having like a Conahawk and a ambush on field, and then using the ambush, and then boom, just make this guy. So pretty much at that point, you're using Conahawk's effect over and over again to get a whole bunch of these guys in, because you don't want to waste these cards. So you search out a whole bunch of these monsters, and then you make this guy, and you're like, ha, I have 3 Ritual Beast monsters in hand, I'm getting to negate 3 stuff, so good luck. And then he just poops on everything. And he can go up to a 42 beater with Apoleo, so he is really, really good. And then we have Ulti Apoleo. He is a Sarito. He is unaffected by everything, including Apoleo, which is kind of sad, but he's still unaffected by everything when he attacks. So that is really good. He's 26 beater, run over stuff, fire nice, and will kind of die against him. And so he's just really good. Mirror Force, defense, and won't do anything. So he is really nice in that regard. Conahawk. He's the searcher, target 2 of your banished Ritual Beast cards, return them to the graveyard, and if you do, add 1 Ritual Beast monster from your deck to your hand. You only have to return 1 to get its effect. So you can target 2 and then use this other effect to bounce them back and target one of the ones that you were going to return in a different one, special summon those 2, and then you can then return the other one to grave and get the search off. So that is really awesome, and it lets you do the loops. And then we run 2 Petalfin, running 2 just in case we want to use Rampangu pretty much, and then you can just make him, and he cannot be destroyed by card effects, 28 defense, so he's really good just to make on your opponent's turn. If you have a mistake and you can't do the Kanahawk loop, then what I suggest doing is making April Leo, or Kai Leo if you have enough cards in hand, or make April Leo attack and then decontact and make Petalfin for your opponent's turn, and then be like, try getting over this guy. And that is it for the Ritual Beasts. 3 April Leo, 3 Kanahawk. Now, if Kanahawk were to get hit, it would kind of be a little bit bad. I mean, you only need 1 to do the loop, but sometimes, like late game, it can get bad because maybe you sent 1 at the very beginning with Rampangu, and then your opponent ends up getting rid of 1. Maybe they're wanting it, maybe they get it when you don't have any targets to special summon, or they do something. And so if this card does get hit, it would kind of hurt the deck very well. And this deck is a target to get hit. Definitely with how well it did at Nationals. And Kanahawk would be one of the big cards to hit. As far as main deck monsters, Kanahawk again, April Leo, like the cards I'm printing 3 of, it's really interesting. And of course, like Ambush and Steeds, I said that backwards. Steeds and Ambush would be good cards to hit. And so that is just stuff to think about when the ban list comes out in 21-15. To think about. For XZ monsters, Castel, Diamond Dire Wolf, Lightning Chidori, really glad this deck can have access to it. But unfortunately, in order to do that, you need to decontact at least 2 or use Steeds and decontact so that way you can get 2 of your level 4s out, because all of these guys are level 4s. But these guys are not. So that's just something you have to think about. But Chidori is awesome. You can just poop on a lot of different decks, especially if you have Anti-Spell Fragrance, because then it's like, good luck using that Kaleido Mirror next turn. And then the Exciton and the Abyss Dweller, just the stuff to think about. And if you're curious about side deck stuff, I'd say Lancia, the Artifact Lancia, would be good cards to side, just specifically for the mirror match and against Necros. Maxi wouldn't probably be all that bad, but 3rd copies of Anti-Spell and Mistake would also be good cards to have in the side deck. And then other things that would be good. Soul Drain, this deck could easily side in Soul Drain to click on Necros and Shaddolls. Shadow Imprisoning, Light Imprisoning, those would really help. And Solemn Warning and Blackhorn wouldn't be bad for the mirror match also, because these are inherent special summons and they cannot decontact if you negate their summon. So if you're Warning or Blackhorn, they cannot decontact, so that is stuff you can definitely have in your side deck. But Maxi, if your opponent's going off, like if you're playing against, it doesn't matter what deck you're playing, if you're playing against Ritual Beasts, Maxi will probably poop on them a lot. Because this deck, like Maxi, the idea with Maxi is if you're going to take the Maxi challenge, you're going to go for game. That's the idea, is that you're like, okay, my opponent's probably not going to draw Effect Veiler or Yu-Gi-Oh! Sagi or whatever, so I'm just going to go all in. But this deck can't do that. They're really weak. He only has 14. He goes up to 24 if you April Leo twice. This guy is always at 26. And unless you make this guy, even then, like, your opponent could have way too many cards in their hand, because with how many loops and how many special summons it takes just to get 1 search off, it can be really bad. So Maxi can really poop on this deck. You can get a whole bunch of advantage over your opponent if you're facing Ritual Beast. So definitely recommend that against them. Other cards would be Majesties and Bannies. Those cards I feel are going to just become even more better, really powerful this format. So yeah, that is it for the deck profile. And yes, there will be duels with this deck tomorrow, as there always are on my channel. And yeah, tell me what you guys think of this. What do you guys think of Ritual Beasts doing so well in Nationals? I really didn't expect them. I actually thought it would be Shaddolls. I thought Shaddolls was going to be good, because Onatonawas poops on everything. It poops on this, it poops on Necros, it poops on the Tellarknights, and then they aren't even in top 8. Oh well. So yeah, just tell me what you guys think of Nationals. Tell me what you guys think of everything. What do you think be on the ban list? What do you think of the whole Konami thing? I'm glad they're speaking to us at the very least. I'm glad they're speaking to us. So yeah, thank you for watching, and don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys later. Bye.